It's time for local high school football. The 38th season of Hometown Sports with Greg Kerr and Myles Boyns. Sponsored by Alpha Technologies and Alarm Systems, Little Caesars, Mercedes-Benz of Bakersfield, Valley Strong Credit Union, and Golden Empire Transit.
And good evening and welcome to Hometown Sports. I'm Greg Kerr alongside Myles Boyns. This is our 38th season of bringing you the most games, the most comprehensive highlights, and the only one-hour show dedicated to high school football. And it is Week 14, which translates into Week 3 of the Central Section playoffs. And this week we are in Fresno, Madera, Porterville, Delano, Shafter, and of course right here in Bakersfield. Later in the show, we'll update our playoff brackets and take a look ahead to next week's Black Friday Championship Week for Divisions 2 through 6.
In addition, we have awards such as Athlete of the Week, Players of the Week, Exciting Play, Game-Saving Play, Youth Football, Hits of the Week, Hometown All-Stars, and of course our Scholar of the Week. And we'll take a look back at the BC Renegades regular season as they prepare for their upcoming bowl game against Saddleback College.
Yeah, when we're talking about the Hometown All-Stars and the Scholar and all that, pay attention later in the show, because if you're a Hometown All-Star, if you hear from your coach, we're going to tell you where to go and when to be there. So please listen at the end of the show. Meanwhile, we have a jam-packed hour just ahead before we begin. A huge thank you to our sponsors, Little Caesars Pizza, 15 convenient locations in Kern County, Valley Strong Credit Union. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Alpha Technologies and Alarms, keeping you protected and connected. And Golden Empire Transit. Makes life better, connecting people to places one ride at a time. And our sponsors for segments, many of them longtime partners like Raymond's Trophies and Awards, Brim Hall Dental Group, Golden Empire Youth Football, Accelerated Urgent Care, Brian Hicks Real Estate Group, and Stockdale Podiatry Group. So let's kick off week number 14 of our 38th season. Once again, it's win or go home. And as always, we thank you for joining us. You know, next week is championship week for Divisions 2 through 6. For Divisions 1AA and 1A, the title games, due to smaller 8-team brackets, 1 week ahead of the rest. This week's feature game, the 1A title game between Frontier and BHS. You know, for the past 6 weeks or so, Titans head coach Chris Bandy has said his team had yet to play their best, most complete game. During that same span, his defense has been rock solid. This week, the defense was once again spectacular, and that best game of the year stuff showed up at just the right time. Let's take you to Griffith Field at BHS. They know a thing or two about championships at BHS. The Drillers getting ready to come out of that tunnel as they hit the field. Great crowd on hand for this one as well. Drillers' first possession, facing third down, and member of the chain gang makes the catch. Watch the moves he puts on. There you go. Comes up with a hamstring injury on the way back. Oh, that didn't feel good. Meanwhile, Titans' first possession. Brady Campbell rolls out and finds Kobe Watson into the end zone for the touchdown. Let's take another look at that one from ground level. In for the score, 6-0 Titans on top. Titans defense came to play. Oh my, nowhere to go. Look like a team picture back there with the Frontier defense. Titans next possession, Campbell rolls out again, finds Sungbae Jinyu, breaks that tackle, and then it's a foot race into the end zone, broke the plane before the fumble. We'll show you another angle from up top, because indeed, the catch and the race to the end zone, and even if they had ruled it a fumble, which they did not, teammate Malcolm Watkins was right there to land on it. It's 14-0 after the 2-point conversion in favor of Frontier. That covered 45 yards, by the way. Drillers' next possession. This pass complete, picking up some big yardage, but momentum was just not on their side. Stripped at the end of the play. Recovered by Treason Wallace. So we go to the second quarter now. And the Titans are going to add 3 more. This is Braden Boozer. And this is from 29 yards out. And it is up and it is good. 17-0 Frontier on top. The story of this game, that Titans defense swarming. Keegan Robertson just sniffing that one out. And check out Logan Slayton right here, getting into the backfield and tripping up the back. And look at the frustration of BHS in that offense. Man, oh man. Just before the half, Malcolm Watkins busting loose. Picks up about 30 yards on the play. After a penalty pushed the Titans back a bit, Campbell finds Sungbae Jinyu, and he's just got a clear path into the end zone. Look at this one again from ground level as they are opening up a 24-0 lead. Virginia just strolling into the end zone for 6, and the Drillers head to the locker room, long faces. They're down 24-0, by far their biggest deficit of the season. Second half we go. Titans had a lot to cheer about. The Titans open the third quarter with an 8-minute drive. Exactly what you want to do, right? Shoe clock. Ball is loose, but everything's working their way. Braxton Shirley is going to fall on this one. Takes a while to uncover it and finally get the result, but he's down there. He's got the ball, and there you go. Touchdown, 31-0 Frontier on top. Meanwhile, BHS coach Rashawn Sheehy turning to freshman quarterback Marcus Gomez, as he did last week against Arroyo Grande, and Gomez somehow, someway, staying inbounds and untouched into the end zone for the score. It's 31-6. The remainder of the game, the Titans just chewing clock. Michael Hanks Jr. doing the honors here. First down, a little bit more. Meanwhile, the big fellas of Grayson Lee, Karsten Campbell, Gavin Riley, soaking in the moment. Head coach Chris Bandy, speaking of soaking, was soaking wet. Titans celebrate their first ever Central Section Championship. You got hugs, you got handshakes. The Titans are heading to the state playoffs. Your final, 31-14.
Resilient group of kids, man. It's been a long year with a lot of adversity, but when you just worry about the day and not tomorrow, and don't worry about expectations, a lot of good things can happen, and I think we showed that tonight.
They came in ready to go. You can't take anything away from what Coach Bandy has done with that team. He's done a heck of a job. So, the Drillers had a great season, and we will be back.
It's amazing, man. The greatest feeling ever. I mean, you can't explain it.
You guys really punched him in the mouth in the first quarter. Can you just talk about taking control of this game?
We knew the game was going to be won on the O&D line, so we started out fast and strong, and they couldn't keep up with us all game. It was great. You know, we've been practicing this for a while. The whole goal is to win the championship, so we finally did it. So, yeah, it's a great feeling.
This is incredible. I only got one shot at this, and, I think this is extremely important for not only us as a team, but school history.
Going to state. Let's go. We did it. We did it.
Outstanding work. I am so stinking proud of you guys. I love you guys. And guess what? We get to keep playing football together. Hey, here's the deal, though. You guys are now legends in Frontier High School history. Hey, first ever, baby. First ever. Heck yeah, man.
Heck yeah, man, as Frontier wins it by a final of 31-14, first section title for Frontier. Meanwhile, let's take a peek at what happened in the 1AA game as Central knocked off Clovis East 33-24 in that one. Maybe not a huge surprise. When they lost him in the regular season, Central turned the ball over 5 times. They didn't do that this time. Central again wins it by a final of 33-24. It is time for our first break. Quick reminder, follow us on X and Instagram. Hometown BAK is the place for all your live updates and scores, well over 6,000 strong and growing. Coming up is Division II as the BCHS looks to take one step closer to another section title. Hometown Sports. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to Hometown Sports. Heading over to Division II, a win last week against St. Joseph kept the top-seeded BCHS Eagles season alive. Now on to the semis. They turn around to host the high-powered Sunnyside team led by Tanner Wilson, who led the state in passing just a couple of years ago. Not even a tale of two halves, more like 3 quarters. Early on, it looked like a shootout was on the horizon. Turns out it wasn't. Let's take you to the action. Here comes the Eagles opening possession. Lincoln Adame finds Michael Smith, who's going to break a couple of tackles, and he is going to outrun the defense for the touchdown. We got to take another look at that from ground level. It's a 55-yard touchdown pass completion, showing off the elusiveness and the power and the speed, showing it all in this play. BCHS out front early, 7-0. Next Eagles possession. They would try to work that same magic going back to the air, but it is going to be intercepted by Michael Johnson. And he's going to take it just across the 50. Ensuing drive, Tanner Wilson getting things started. He's going to find his favorite target, C.J. Jones, who makes the difficult grab. And he's going to be pushed out at about the 19-yard line. 4th and goal. Romulan Pavixe is going to punch it in for the Wildcats. And it's a tie game, 7-7. Next Wildcats possession. And Tanner Wilson showing off the arm. Dante Hart for the touchdown. Let's take another look. Puts it just out of the reach for the DBs. And Sunnyside leads 14-7 after that one.
On the money.
On the money it was. On to the second quarter. And Ethan Eccles getting things started. And he is running hard.
Ooh.
Bouncing off. He's still up.
Move those chains.
Yep, and they were complaining about, they thought he fumbled, but he didn't. But a drive ended in a Cohen Peters field goal. BCHS trails 14-10. Under a minute to go in the half. Lincoln Adame airs it out to Andre Calderon with a nice grab, gets out of bounds. Now under 30 seconds. Adame to Ethan Eccles on the check down. And he is going to pick up great yardage, gets out of bounds. And the Eagles didn't spike the ball, so the field goal unit hurried out to the field for the attempt. And it was just off the mark. BCHS trails 14-10 at the half. Third quarter. And Sunnyside is sacked by Chris Andrews. Eagles finding more life on offense. Lincoln Adame to a wide open Jason Gutierrez. And he is running. He's going to be brought down deep in Wildcat territory, which ended up in a Cohen Peters 33-yard field goal make to make it 14-13, BCHS down 1. Sunnyside ball, 4th and 1, and they try to get the first down. And they're waiting on the ref signal. Bring out the chains. And it was up short. Turnover on downs, which BCHS took full advantage. Lincoln Adame to Andre Calderon, wide open for the touchdown. 2-point conversion good. Eagles lead 21-14. Fourth quarter, Sunnyside faces another 4th down, but the Eagles sniff it out. No measurement needed for that one. Ensuing drive, Ethan Eccles is going to punch it in the end zone, and BCHS shuts out Sunnyside in the last 3 quarters to pick up the win, 29-14.
Love these guys, man. They're such a fun group to be around every day. You wanted to extend the season at least one more week, right? That was always our goal.
I'm just glad for my team and the boys. We really worked hard all off season, just building up to this point, and we deserve it.
Right, deserve it, and they indeed. BCHS beats Sunnyside 29-14 to advance. Other side of the bracket, Central Valley Christian beating number 2 seed Golden West on the road 28-7, which results in a rematch of the Milk Bowl.
Again.
BCHS hosting CVC. I believe it was week 3 that BCHS hosted them. They won 49-28, and CVC has looked like a different team since then. So has BCHS, so that one is going to be a good one.
Yeah, more milk, please. Coming up on Hometown Sports Division 3, as Kennedy plays a shootout in Madera, you got to see it. And top-seeded Porterville aims to protect their turf against Kerman. Join the crowd. Follow us on X and Instagram at Hometown BAK. We will be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports Division 3. The Kennedy Thunderbirds back on the road after last week's win at Renegades, where they piled up 56 points. This week, a trip to Madera. And consider this, during the course of the game, the T-Birds lost running back J.C. McCoblin, quarterback Jordan Palomo, and 2 other starters, none of them returning to play in the second half. And yet, they managed to score 49 points. The question is, would it be enough? 49 usually is. Let's go to Madera. In Madera, the Coyotes taking the field right here. And the captains meeting at midfield for what turned out to be a wild one. After opening the game with a run after run after run, then, well, why not throw? Jordan Palomo to Yoshi Tanaka. 7-0, Kennedy on top. And after forcing a Madera turnover, Jason Membreve, part of what would be a huge night, goes 50-plus yards, and the T-Birds are on top 13-0, just like that. Madera, needing a response, gets one. Their quarterback, Joel Ariano, to Lawrence Flores. It's 13-7. Kennedy marches down the field, but then fumbles into the end zone. J.R. Galindo recovers. It's still 13-7. 3 plays later, facing 3rd and long, Ariano to Immanuel Solis. He is going to go 80 yards for the score, and suddenly Madera's on top 14-13. Buckle up. We are just getting started. Second quarter, Jace DeMcCoblin turns the corner and watches. He steps out of bounds, and then he is hit hard, and he did not return to the game. Meanwhile, very next play, Jamison Membreve again, 40-plus yards for the score. Kennedy back on top 21-14. After recovering a fumble on the ensuing kickoff, George Avila goes in, and Kennedy has a 28-14 lead. He would leave the game with an injury as well. Final play of the half, this happens. Jordan Palomo was hit hard. Ball loose, T-Birds recovered, but Palomo would not return to the game in the second half. So that's 2 running backs and a quarterback. T-Birds lead 28-14 at the break. Let's go third quarter. Madera taking their first drive of down the field, culminating with this. Joel Ariano passed away wide open. Jaden Martinez, 59 yards. It's 28-21. Later third quarter, guess who? Jamison Membreve breaking free, 35-21. All Membreve did was carry the ball 15 times for 284 yards and 4 touchdowns. Wow. And then, one play after the kickoff, Ariano to Jonathan Garza. Long distance, 35-28. Scoreboard operators staying busy. Third quarter, one explosion play after another. This is backup quarterback Javi Valdez. Gone. Kennedy back on top by 2 scores, 42-28. Fourth quarter, it's now 42-35. Ariano to Immanuel Solis. Big gain right there. And then Joel Ariano goes in from a couple of yards out. We are tied 42-42 with 6:28 to play, and I'm just tired watching. Meanwhile, Thunderbirds needing a score. Guess who? Jamison Membreve. 49-42, T-Birds with 5:25 to play. And then this. Joel Ariano to Lawrence Flores. He bounces off a couple defenders, gets into the end zone, 49-49 with 3:57 to play. After a Thunderbirds turnover, they get it right back. Espen Cantu with the strip. Angel Rodriguez recovers. We're still tied. Final minute. And the T-Birds throwing into the end zone. Watch this interception by Gavin Castro. It is a beauty. Oh my goodness.
Laid out for it.
And so, with the rain coming down, under 20 seconds to play, Ariano to Immanuel Solis. A T-Birds defender slipped. That's why he's open by 30 yards, and he goes the distance. 56-49 Madera with just 10.8 seconds to play. After the kickoff, time for 2 plays. Here's one of them. Javier Valdez to Yoshi Tanaka. Deep ball. And he just steps out of bounds. 2 seconds left. Final play. They had a heave into the end zone. Kennedy falls short in a game featuring 105 points. Your final 56-49.
We just had a lot of difficulty with the receiving core, which we knew we'd have those kinds of issues. Our goal was to get to the quarterback before they got those guys into those longer routes, and we were able to get there. So kudos to them for the great protection that they put up, and they were able their receivers were better than our DBs in certain spots and certain plays, and we lost our footing sometimes, and it was tough.
You have plenty of returners coming. You got some big guys coming back next year. Yeah. What do you think their motivation? Where do you think it lies now?
Well, the funny part is that 3 of those guys got hurt early in the game, right? And losing Jace and losing our quarterback and losing our little linebacker, it takes a toll on us. So I'm happy that the other guys stepped up. But now those guys know what it feels like to be here. They missed out on the last half of the 3 quarters of this game, so they never got the opportunity to lose the game, right? They were on the sidelines. So I know for them it's going to hurt, but it gives them something to shoot for. They've been here and they want to be back here again.
All right, so there it is again. Madera wins an absolute shootout by a final of 56-49. Wow.
Almost deja vu for Kennedy, because losing in a very similar fashion last year against Kerman in the final 10 seconds of the playoffs. And speaking of Kerman, just like last year, coming in as the 5th seed, they face top-seeded Porterville. A shootout in the first half resulted in the opposite of the second half. Let's take you out to Granite Hills High School captains meeting at the 50. First quarter, no time wasted. Mark Salinas up the gut, untouched, and he is gone. 7-0. Panthers out on top real quick. Next possession we go. And Adrian Torres, he's going to take a hit. but gets the ball out in time, and Nicholas Greenwall makes the grab, catches it deep downfield, steps out of bounds just before the 20. The two connect again right here, and Greenwall looking to get in the end zone. He is down at the 1. 2 plays later, Justin Molina punches it in. And just like that, we are tied at 7. Panthers ball, Ethan Enriquez. And he's going to throw deep. And Isaiah Welch catches it in stride and gets in the end zone. 14-7, Porterville. Second quarter we go. Bad snap on the punt. And the punter is going to decide he's going to try to run for the first down. And he takes a shot from Nicholas Greenwall. Turnover on downs, ensuing drive. Adrian Torres scrambles, finds Isaiah Quinto, and he is going to score. And it was back and forth in this one. They are tied at 14. Meanwhile, Kerman ball again. And the quarterback scrambles. And it was just a night of big hits as he takes a shot from Jace Toto. Next play on third down, Jacob Molina, the backup end, dumps it to Julian Velez. And he is going to show off the speed, and he picks up the first down. And that was the man who ran for the 75-yard touchdown last year in Kennedy to ice the game. And he is going to show off his running ability against Porterville, picks up the first down. Meanwhile, to cap off the drive, Justin Molina punches it in, and Lions take the lead 21-14. Ensuing drive, Ethan Enriquez steps up in the pocket. Jonathan Ruiz, he's going to get some good yardage. And he's going to get inside the red zone, brought out at about the 13. Few plays later, Enriquez to the end zone, finds Dylan Williams, makes the adjustment, and gets in the touchdown. And Porterville ties it at 21, and that is your score at the half. Third quarter we go, and the fake punt. Looks like Kerman picks up the first down. However, the ball is stripped out, and Porterville recovers it, putting a halt to a possible continuing drive. Fourth quarter we go. Eddie Hernandez lines up for the field goal. And Kerman up 24-21. Those were their only points of the fourth quarter. Panthers' next drive, Ethan Enriquez to Isaiah Welch, breaking tackles. And he is still on his feet and gets brought down at about the 45. And to cap off their drive, Simon Macias gets it through the upright. And we are tied at 24. Lions ball, but the pass is going to be intercepted by Mark Salinas, making the diving grab. Final seconds of regulation. Porterville with a chance to win it in advance. And it is short, which means we are headed into overtime. And Panthers would start with the ball, fourth down. Field goal attempt off the marker. Lions just need a field goal to win it. Eddie Hernandez is going to get it through the upright as Kerman knocks off top-seeded Porterville in an overtime thriller, 24-21.
Both teams played hard. Both teams got after it. It was a four-quarter game, and it didn't win into overtime. So it was a very fun and exciting game. Very stressful game.
All right, 27-24 on the correction of the score, not 24-21. Kerman advancing to the next round, and they will be facing the number 2 seed Madera. Both teams coming off of big wins. That game will be next Friday. Kerman on the road again.
There will be points, I think. Time for another break. Coming up, we'll travel to a couple of games. Remember, you can find us on X and Instagram. We got Mira Monte coming on deck in Division 6. We've got Delano as well in Division 5. And, of course, Shafter in Division 4. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. Top seed is Shafter hosting 5-seed Immanuel. A trip to the Division 4 title game on the line. And a win would also move Generals head coach Gerald Perucci into a tie for most career wins, 75, by a Shafter coach. It was set by Dan Bledsoe back in the 1940s and 50s. Hometown Sports has been around a long time, but not that long. Here we go. Generals taking the field for this one. And their very first possession, getting that run game going. Christopher Espinoza, Mr. North and South, just loved to run over people. And then from the 1-yard line, Shafter goes in. And boy, that was efficient. 7-0 Shafter on top. Second quarter, Generals on the move again. The give to Trammell Spain. And then Ezekiel Osborne. Quick throw to Trammell Spain, who's just laying there in the end zone for a touchdown. 14-0 Shafter on top. The ensuing kickoff. Things could not have gone much worse for Immanuel as Shafter pooches it and recovers. Isaiah Monreal recovers there, pouncing on the loose ball. Leads to a field goal by Andrew Avila. 17-0 Shafter. But in the final minutes of the first half, Immanuel comes to life. Vincent Rosander to Julian Ornelas. Big gain down the far sideline before he's stepping out of bounds. And then Jackson Leby goes in with under a minute to play. What a huge score for the Eagles. It's 17-7 at the half. Third quarter, Immanuel ball, Vincent Rosander to Wyatt Rasmussen. Nice little pickup there. They're sticking to the air. Rosander to Tyler Romo. Got it. Big gain again. And then Rosander to Julian Ornelas. And suddenly it's 17-14. Shafter's response, give it to Marion Sloan. Picking up some yards right there. And maybe give it to Marion Sloan again. And they do. And then fake it to Marion Sloan. That actually wasn't Marion, I don't think. But throw it to Alex Reyna. Touchdown. 24-14, Shafter on top. Immanuel digs into their playbook. The toss back to Julian Ornelas, who pulls up, throws to Luke Banks. Big play, but then the ball's loose. And the Generals recover. Huge play right there. So we now go fourth quarter. Ezekiel Osborne, his second hookup with Trammell Spain. 31-14, Shafter has a little breathing room. But Immanuel answers right back. Watch the run game just busting free. They add a 2-point conversion to this, and suddenly it's 31-22. Interesting game still. Later fourth quarter, Immanuel ball, third down and long, pass incomplete, but the Generals were called for a personal foul. It was the first of 4 penalties in 4 straight plays against Shafter. You're going to hear their coach later. He wasn't real happy, Gerald Perucci. Defense did step up in the end. Hector Cruz with the sack. Shafter goes on to win this one, 31-22. Gerald Perucci will take the win, number 75 at Shafter, again tying Dan Bledsoe for the most, but he said there's a lot to clean up.
The penalties are going to happen. That stuff is, it's a decision call. The stuff about the personal foul, that's the stuff that can't happen. Championship teams don't have stupid personal fouls when the team is marching down the field, and that's just the thing. When you have those dumb mistakes, that gives teams life. That was a third and I think 15, and we give up that stuff can't happen. And if we expect to win a section championship, we have to be way smarter than that. The guys that are doing it are way smarter than that. They've been on varsity for 3 years. They should know better.
Yeah, they got a tough one coming up. Shafter wins at 31-22, and look at the other half where Kalinga just put a hurting on Roosevelt. Nice season for Roosevelt. It's a 15 seed getting to the semis, but Kalinga wins at 49-0. So next week you get an undefeated Kalinga team against a once-beaten Shafter team Friday in Shafter. That is going to be a beaut. Can't wait for that one.
Nothing but fireworks right there. On to Division 5. After last week's road playoff win at Strathmore, the 6th seed Delano Tigers were awarded with the home playoff game. They host 7th seed Selma in a low-scoring affair. Let's take you out to Delano High. In the opening possession, Selma actually got things started fast. Aaron Ramirez finds Jacob Hernandez, who's going to pick up real big yardage. And he's going to get knocked out inside the 10-yard line. And then Caden Berry punches it in, showing off the power. 7-0, Bears on top. Ensuing kickoff. And Selma recovers it. It is Jacob Hernandez who recovers it. And he wasn't done, as he is going to run up the middle into the end zone for the score. 14-0 Selma on top, second quarter. And check out Caden Berry tripping up the runner for the tackle for loss. 14-0 is your score at the half. Third quarter, the Tigers coming after the quarterback. Their defense was just menacing this second half. A near pick six right there out of the hands of the defender. But Delano all in the backfield, a pack of Tigers bringing down the runner. Now on offense, DJ Hujar rolls out. He finds Raul Quezada. Gets the first down. Then Hujar has some time in the pocket. And finds Javier Nunez, who makes a good grab inside the 20-yard line to keep the drive going. Then Hujar on the option is going to keep it himself and scores. PAT no good, 14-6, Delano trails. Meanwhile, ensuing kickoff. Selma recovered a kickoff earlier. Now it's Delano's turn. And it's Jonathan Basordo who comes up with it. Looking for a chance to tie it. The pass to the end zone. It is picked off by Jacob Hernandez. And Bears just need to burn out the clock, and they do so. Aaron Ramirez dumps it to Dallas Luna. Breaks the tackle. Goes down inbounds as Selma knocks off Delano. Your final score, 14-6.
It was a great battle tonight. You know, they got up on us early, and we weren't able to recover fully. You know, hats off to Selma. They're a tough team, physical team. Ran it down our throats for a little bit. We made some adjustments. We were able to stop them, but we just couldn't get anything offensively going.
Right, 14-6 is your final score. Delano scoring that touchdown in the fourth quarter. Let's take a look at other side. And usually the path through a section title runs through Bishop, and it is going to run through Morro Bay as Morro Bay knocks off the top seed Bishop 28-20, leaving the matchup. Selma traveling to Morro Bay for the Division 5 section championship.
Yeah, I don't know what was better news for Selma, that they won the game or they don't have to go to Bishop. They get to go to the coast. That's not bad. All right, once again, Bishop's a nice place, just a long drive. Once again, check us out on X and Instagram at Hometown BAK. Coming up, we're on the road with Mira Monte, where the magic number is 42. We'll explain Hometown Sports. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. Division 6 of the Miramonte Lions continue to defy the odds. Finishing the regular season 4-6, they haven't lost since. And Nathan Gonzalez is one very big reason why. The Lions leaning on the running back against top-seeded Minarets, asking him to carry the ball 42 times. 42! Captain's meet at midfield. Good look at Nathan Gonzalez before those 42 carries. And a good look at what defenses see when Nathan Gonzalez is coming at you. And he just dragging people into the end zone, 7-0 Miramonte on top. Later first quarter, it's the Mustangs on the move. That number 1 seed, of course. Torrin Wolf to Joey Lamadrid. The catch and the score, we are tied at 7 apiece. Second quarter, Lions in the red zone and in the Wildcat. Nathan Gonzalez goes in, and Miramonte is back on top 14-7. Under 4 minutes to play in the half, Torrin Wolf again at the controls is going to find Caden Larson. Nice catch. Ooh. First and goal, Minarets. And then very next play, Torrin Wolf follows the big guys in. They would go for 2. They would get it, 15-14 with 3 minutes to play. But we're not done. That's more than enough time for a bit of a surprise. Yeah, they threw it. Fabian Carrillo to Corday Fulmer, and we got a foot race. Into the end zone, and the Lions lead at the half, 21-15. Beautiful play, and it worked just fine. Third quarter, here we go. The Mustangs, they're going to come out throwing. Torrin Wolf, again to Caden Larson. Nice grab, big gain into Lions territory. And then Torrin Wolf goes in for his second touchdown of the game. Minarets back on top 22-21. But here come the Lions. And you know who. Nathan Gonzalez out of the Wildcat. Running hard. Then Corday Fulmer. Far edge. Oh my. Into the end zone. Miramonte on top? No, it was called back. So moments later, they're facing fourth down, and they are sacked. Mustangs defense holds. So we go fourth quarter now. Torrin Wolf, a dart to Joey Lamadrid. And then the Mustangs go to the air again. Christopher Salazar, great defense right there to break it up. So the Mustangs are forced to punt. And watch where they down it. Inside the 10-yard line. And Miramonte's got a long way to go. But time for one more drive. And this guy, Nathan Gonzalez. Good for 50 yards. Gets to just outside the 20-yard line. Gonzalez, a mind-boggling 42 carries, 334 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then another run right here, just to get him closer field goal range. 1 second to play. That's Angel Zarate lining up for a game-winning field goal. They iced him once. Here's the second one from 30 yards. The snap. Watch the rush. It's there. Bunch of purple shirts, but no one went after the ball. It's up. It's good. And can you believe it? Monte continues their magical carpet ride as a 12 seed, knocking off top-seeded Minarets 24-22. Cue the emotional coach, Christian Johnson.
Great feeling, man. I'm just so happy for a bunch of kids from the east side that nobody believed in. And we preached it all year long of we just got to keep believing and keep fighting and keep competing. And I mean, it was all 3 phases of the game, man, to get the ball on the 1-yard line and to go down and the clock management.
I walked out there, I was like, it was just a dream come true, you know what I'm saying? I mean, into the kicker's hands, like, you can't believe it. Not many games end like that.
This was a team effort with my players and my assistant coaches, our administration. Just a great day for Miramonte.
Certainly is. Miramonte wins at 24-22. Meanwhile, look what Lindsay did to Corcoran. Ouch, 42-2. So that means Miramonte back on the road at Lindsay for the D6 championship game next Friday at 7 p.m. It is time for another break. Coming up, we're going to look at the BC Renegades regular season as they prepare for their bowl game, plus our Brimhall Dental Group Players of the Week. Check us out on X and Instagram at Hometown BAK. Hometown Sports will be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. The BC Renegades prepping for their Patriotic Bowl matchup with Saddleback. More on that in a moment. For now, a look back at their 6-4 season and just how close they were to a perfect 10-0 record. That's not hyperbole. We have the moving pictures to prove it. Let's go to week 1. Hosting Golden Valley. The Gades were down by 8 in the final minute. And David Smith, well, they had this field goal here. This is against Golden West. Do you have the right video? Here it is. Yeah, the field goal. And then here, David West scores a touchdown. They're down by 2, but they get a dead ball personal foul. So the game-tying 2-point conversion, which would be from the 3-yard line, is now from the 18-yard line, and the pass falls incomplete. They fall by a final of 27-25.
Too many turnovers and too many costly penalties, and frustrating because you play a good football team, and we've told them all week long you can't make mistakes against a good team like that and think that you're going to win.
Road at El Camino. This touchdown in the final seconds pulls the Gades to within 1, and they decide let's go for 2 and the win. And so in doing so, they get the ball out to Jalen Hankins in the flat, the race to the pylon. It is ruled he is just short. The Gades fall 27-26.
Players, we talked to them. The players were like, let's go. They wanted to go win the game. And so anytime the players are convicted that way, you go.
Now to week 7, back on the road at Moore Park. We're in overtime. The Gades miss a field goal. And the Raiders do not. They connect, handing the Gades another crushing loss. Your final 26-23 in overtime.
As bad as we played, we were still in a position to win. And, on the one hand, it's a testament to the players that they kept fighting. On the other hand, we didn't do enough, though, to put ourselves in a position to win. We missed some PATs. We missed field goals. It was just sloppy. And it's just, I'm just upset because we didn't play, Renegade football.
Week 10 in the daylight, again on the road, this time at Canyons. The Cougars using this 54-yard field goal to tie the game, 24-24 with 9 minutes to play, and then just seconds left on the clock. From much shorter range, the Cougars connect to hand their Gades their 4th loss by a combined total of 9 points. Your final 27-24.
They're a good football team. I've said it all week long, and I don't know if they actually really believe that. And it's just disappointing in that we didn't respond.
Tell you what, so the Renegades, they have a bowl game this Tuesday down in Saddleback. Yes, Tuesday at 2 o'clock. The Renegades are 6-4. Saddleback is 7-4. And watching those 4 games they lost, I don't know if that was like, empowering that they've had a really great season or a horror film, because watching all those losses by such close numbers. All right, meanwhile, it's time for our Players of the Week, brought to you by Brimhall Dental Group, committed to providing quality health care to you and your family. Our Brimhall Dental Group Offensive Player of the Week, we got Kennedy High running back Jamison Membreve. Despite being injured during the game, Membreve was unstoppable on the ground. One big run after another in a game that went back and forth against Madera. Membreve had 15 carries for 284 yards. That's 19 yards a carry. And he had 4 touchdowns. Jamison Membreve of Kennedy is our Brimhall Dental Group Offensive Player of the Week, Part 1. Meanwhile, the other running back is Nathan Gonzalez, who led the Lions, Part 2, an upset win over top-seeded Minarets. Whether it was in the Wildcat or his natural running back position, Gonzalez carried the ball 42 times, 334 yards, and 2 scores. Nathan Gonzalez of Mira, Monte, our Brimhall Dental Group Offensive Player of the Week, Part 2.
Our Brimhall Dental Group Defensive Player of the Week is number 52 from Shafter, Matthew Cordova, the Generals defensive tackle, disrupting the Immanuel offense all night long. Cordova with the number of stops in the backfield. Matthew Cordova of Shafter is this week's Brimhall Dental Group Defensive Player of the Week.
Our Brimhall Dental Group Special Teams Player of the Week isn't any surprise. Here he is sizing it up. They iced him once, but they couldn't ice him a second time. Angel Zarate of Miramonte with a game-winning walk-off 30-yard field goal to give the 12th-seeded Lions a 24-22 win over top-seeded Minarets. That's what dreams are made of. Angel Zarate of Miramonte is our Brimhall Dental Group Special Teams Player of the Week. Coming up, we got our game-saving play, our Brian Hicks Real Estate Group Athlete of the Week, and our Golden Empire Youth Football season complete. We'll take a look at next week's Friday brackets. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. Time for our game-saving play. By definition, a game-saving play should be something like, if we don't make this play, we won't win. Well, you just saw it, but we'll show it to you again. That's where Angel Zarate of Miramonte steps in. And it is worth another look, because it has extended the season for the Lions in a Division VI title matchup with Lindsay. Angel Zarate of Miramonte with our game-saving play of the week as he knocks it through the uprights, and they are going to the championship game.
And time for our Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Brian Hicks Real Estate Group, saving clients thousands. Numbers don't lie. This week's Athlete of the Week is Songbae Jinyu from Frontier. The Titans' two-way starter was hauling in this pass, breaking multiple tackles for an early 14-0 lead. Later in the second quarter, Jinyu grabbing another TD for a 24-0 lead at the break. And on the other side of the ball, 5 pass breakups. And this interception we're going to show right here. Songbae Jinyu of Frontier is our Brian Hicks Real Estate Group Athlete of the Week.
He was terrific, so was Frontier. Another successful season of Golden Empire Youth Football is complete. They will appear on our final show to present their Youth Coach of the Year. That's coming up December 4th. More on that show later in this show. Youth football being athletes, Golden Empire Youth Football. Athletes are born every day. Champions are made right here, right now. We're going to break down the brackets real quick, and it will be quick. But we got Division II, CVC against BCHS. As we said, it's a rematch of the Milk Bowl, and you can see the first meeting. BCHS won 49-28 way back in week 3. Kerman and Madera, that is a 5 versus a 2. Madera defeated Torres, so did Kerman. Madera defeated Garza, and actually Kerman split with Garza. They lost to him in the regular season, beat him in the playoffs. Kalinga Shafter, Kalinga beat Dos Palos in a 3-point game that was low scoring. Shafter beat Dos Palos in a 3-point game that was high scoring. And then you've got Division 5, Selma and Morro Bay. Selma defeated Cabrillo. Cabrillo, however, defeated Morro Bay 41-39. And in Division 6, Miramonte lost to Arvin. Lindsay defeated Arvin. That was very early in the season. Sometimes comparing scores and opponents is a futile thing to do, but we thought we'd share it to you nonetheless. All right, meanwhile, coming up, our Stockdale Podiatry Group exciting play of the week. Also, our hits of the week, sponsored by Raymond's Trophies and Awards. We'll also give you our Hometown All-Star information for our final show next month, and our Accelerated Urgent Care Scholar of the Week. We'll show you the list of the finalists for that award as well. Hometown Sports will be right back.
And welcome back to Hometown Sports. Now for our exciting play of the week, brought to you by Stockdale Podiatry Group. We treat your feet. This week's exciting play, BCHS hosting Sunnyside, and Michael Smith II turns a nice little short pass into this breaking not one, but 2 tackles and turning on the Jets for a 55-yard touchdown. Woo! Michael Smith II of BCHS with our Stockdale Podiatry Group. Exciting play of the week.
Michael Smith I must be proud. Time for our hits of the week, brought to you by Raymond's Trophies and Awards. An award is so much more than an award. It's a memory. Let's begin the hits. If you were at the Kerman Porterville game, boy, did you get your money's worth. Isaiah Welsh, big stick right there. Look at it one more time. Big number 4 of Porterville. Moving on, next up, Shafter hosting Immanuel. No, excuse me, it's back to the same game. And the quarterback, Torres, right there, Adrian Torres, he takes a hit there. We're actually giving credit to the hittee on that one, as he connected on this pass despite getting plowed over right there. That's Adrian Torres of Kerman. Same game. We had 2 hits on the far sideline. We'll put them together. Quarterback on the run, Jace DeSoto, as Miles pointed out earlier in the highlights, with the stick on the outside right there. Sidelines were not kind to anybody holding the football. That's Jake DeSoto of Porterville. And then when the punter was on the loose, Nicholas Grewal. Oh, man, love tap out of bounds as well, Nicholas Grewal of Kerman. This week's winner, number 52 from Shafter, Matthew Cordova, because he pursues, and the running back pulled up, and he just slobber knocked him and landed on him as well. That could not have felt good. That is a huge play there, as Matthew Cordova, who is also on our all-hair team, is this week's Raymond's Trophies and Awards Hitman of the Week.
And time for our Hometown All-Stars. Emails are going out to your coaches as we speak to let you know if you have been selected as a Hometown All-Star. If you are on the list, and this is what you need to know. It will be December 4th at the Convention Center. And please arrive by 6:30 p.m. Wear your game jersey. Family, friends, and coaches are all invited.
Yeah, get as many people out there as you like. We have room. We'd love to have you there. But again, first of all, make sure you get to your coach, because the coaches will have the information. And then secondly, make your arrival on time. We have pizza that we will serve you as well. And wear that game jersey so we can put you guys together by team and take pictures and everything that goes with it. All right, now time for our Scholar Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Accelerated Urgent Care. Tonight, a list of our finalists. The winner will be announced during our final show again on December 4th. And again, that show it's the only show we tape out of the studio. It's December 4th down at the Convention Center. It will air on December 8th. And here's our first list of our Scholar Athletes. Jaden Hernandez of Centennial, Parker Dolan of Liberty, Kenny Pitt up at Tehachapi, Tyler Ayala from Frontier, Camden Dockery at North, Bryce Smoot at Kern Valley. Others were A.J. Jones at South, Ian Ortiz at Ridgeview, Max Wisnoff at BCHS, Nathan Avila at West, Alex Newkirk at East High, Christopher Espinoza from Shafter, and then Jack Hopkins of BHS. We'd get to more schools, but we only have 13 weeks, so we do what we can do as best we can. When we come back, we got predictions. We'll bring it to you in a moment. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. Time for our predictions as we get ready for Championship Week, the day after Thanksgiving. So if you're practicing on Thanksgiving, it's a good season, right?
Yep.
So here we go. We're going to start things off by division, of course. Division 1 is done. Frontier's waiting for a state playoff, opponent, game, site, and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, we have BCHS and a rematch again of the Milk Bowl. They won it 49-28 back in week 3. Your thoughts? Because CVC's looking pretty good.
And CVC has definitely gotten better since that week 3 matchup, but so has BCHS. And one thing we didn't add, Lincoln Adame was playing hurt against Sunnyside. Looked like he said he dislocated one of his ribs, but he played through the whole game. We'll see how healthy he is for that matchup. They will need him for his Central Valley Christian, I believe. But Talon Mather, he was having some quarterback reps at while Lincoln Adame was sitting out some possessions. But I still like BCHS. Talon Mather can still throw. And Ethan Eccles didn't play the first Central Valley Christian game. So that's a game changer right there.
And Mather has some quarterback background for him, too. So here we go. Next up, Kerman and Madera. Kerman is, they were really good last year, solid. They're good this year. Madera putting up 56. I don't know who to like in this one, but I'm going to go Madera, actually. Excuse me, Kerman. I'm going Kerman in this one.
I'm going to go Kerman because I think that win against Porterville, I didn't see anybody knocking off Porterville. I thought Porterville was at least going to make it to the section championship. But Kerman knocking off Porterville, I think that was a big win and momentum booster for them.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Porterville Kennedy, so that tells you what I know. Kalinga Shafter, this is going to be a beauty. I tell you what, Kalinga 13-0. Shafter probably played the tougher schedule, but this is still a very good Kalinga team. I'm going Shafter. But they've had a couple of seasons ended in weird ways, so we're hoping third time is the charm here.
Yeah, third time's the charm. Let's knock on wood on that one. Kalinga is a very tough team, like we said earlier, undefeated. That one's going to be a good game.
All right, Selma Morro Bay. Selma obviously brought some defense. They're huge on the offensive line, and Morro Bay. They can score points, but I'm going to go Selma in this one.
I'm going to go Morro Bay. I like the win at Bishop, traveling 6.5 hours of some sort, knocking off that number 1 seed. But it'll be a good defensive matchup. Selma only allowing 6 points.
Can Miramonte do it again on the road at Lindsay? What say you?
I think they can. I think the biggest strength of Miramonte is not even their run game, it's their self-belief. Mm-hmm. Christian Johnson is very invested in those boys. Those boys believe. Those boys are very composed. Talk to them at practice before heading up to Minarets. They have a lot of self-belief and a completely different team from week 1 to now.
Yeah, I'm going with Miramonte on that one as well. Good Lindsay team, but I like Miramonte. Renegades, Tuesday against Saddleback.
Well, let's see if if it's a less than 3-point game. It's not going to be on the Renegade side, unfortunately. Yeah. But I think BC does have that sour taste in their mouth from last few losses. So I think BC is going to go into this one and get the job done.
They are due to win one in the last seconds, right?
Yes.
Shouldn't that be nice?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it would be win one in the last seconds. That's what the Renegades need to do, although they'd love to win by 40. For Miles, I'm Greg. We'll see you next week. Another edition of Hometown Sports coming at you. Have a good night.
Hometown Sports was sponsored by Alpha Technologies and Alarm Systems, Little Caesars, Mercedes-Benz of Bakersfield, Valley Strong Credit Union, and Golden Empire Transit.